Alright, today we'll be tearing apart a carburetor for a 1967 through a 1969 SS125. So we've got your slide down in there, we've got your bowl, this is the clamp that holds the bowl on, there's your choke assembly here, and if you look down in that screen there you can see the choke moving. And you've got your top cap here, your throttle cable hooks up to here, that's what twists that there. So first thing we're going to do is pull this bowl apart. If you take this clamp and all you simply do is pull this wire back. Now a lot of times what I'll do is take a screwdriver, just tap on it one time. You don't want to get too hard on it, otherwise it could break something inside. A lot of times this pin right here is easy enough to do. If it's been sitting for a while, it may be a little more of a challenge to get out. And then what I do at that point is take a pick and I'll tap right on there very carefully, because they're very easy, these pegs here are very easy to break. We've got a brass float on this, which is something they don't do very often. You see here, it's not taking a whole lot of pressure to get that out, so I want to be very careful doing that. I'll take a pair of pliers here and pull it the rest of the way out. Buying a carburetor used, you want to make sure that you're not buying one that's got one of these pegs damaged, because it's simply a pivot point if you do, and when you tap this peg out, it'll just break right off. So there's your float there, brass float. You've got your needle that sits down inside there. A lot of times what happens is these will groove right here. This one looks good, but a lot of times when you buy one used, or when they've got a lot of wear on, this will be grooved, and you'll have to replace that needle, otherwise it'll sit there and leak. So then we've got your main jet here, and we've got your pilot jet down inside there. When you're removing these jets, make sure you put a lot of pressure on them as you turn, that way your screwdriver doesn't slip off and round off these brass jets. On this one, the seat here can be replaced. So if you need to replace that, I don't like to take them out to show on videos, because there's a seal right there. If you take them out, you've got to reseal everything, and you want to make sure that they're sealed well. Now when you're cleaning them, these carburetors, you want to make sure that you can see through these jets. And if you can't see through them, then they're not clean. So you want to take and use carb cleaner, clean them out, then compressed air, clean them out even more. A lot of times you can take a little wire or a jet cleaner and clean them out a little bit more. So we'll take this top cap off here, 4 Phillips screws. And when you're putting these back together, there's no reason to torque these things down a whole bunch. They'll seal nicely. Okay, there's a top cap here. Here is where your throttle attaches, your throttle cable attaches, allowing the slide to go up when it needs to. So this is your diaphragm here. You want to make sure that there's no cracks or holes in it. And if you're taking it apart to clean it, just be very careful removing it, especially on the older ones. They can rip very easily if they get dried out. And then you can see here when this slide goes up and down, causes this diaphragm to go up and down, and then this throttle pushes it back down since it's spring loaded. Again, be very careful taking these apart. They can rip so easily. When it's completely out of there, that slide will slide right out. Now there's your needle here on the end of it. And this, if you were to pull these 3 Phillips screws, you could pull that needle out as well. But when cleaning it, there's no reason to do that. No reason for fuel to be in here, causing problems inside here, unless you need to replace that needle. But this needle is in great shape. We will blow through it with compressed air and carburetor cleaner and be ready to go back together.